Phillips. We're back in the garage today, working on the Countach replica. I got a lot scheduled for today. We're going to be putting in the windshield washer canister and the entire pump and electric system for that. When this car was built, the company that made it, for whatever reason, left that out, so we're adding that in. We're also going to be adding in the headlights and the fog lights that were completely refurbished, and also rewiring the windshield wiper. And then we're also mounting for the interior accent lights. We're going to be mounting a little mounting, I guess like a rack to hold them on there, so that way they can be properly secured underneath the dash. So let's go ahead and get started. So here's what we're putting in for the windshield washer. Picked this up actually online, fairly inexpensive. It was only, I believe it was like $15, $16, but it includes basically the canister. You've got all the lines, you've got the electric to run the pump. Came with a momentary switch, but we're not using this one. We have one that kind of matches all the other switches in the car that are reminiscent of the more bulky switches that were used on the original Countach back in the late 70s, early 80s. So let's go ahead and get that added in. We have the hood opened up and need to find a space where we can put that. So let's go ahead and take a look in there. Here we are looking in. You have your coolant reservoir here, which needs to be replaced. It has some damage to it. This car was originally next to a house that had a fire on one side. So some of the heat had damaged that, and the lid had been damaged, so that has to be replaced. But here's our fire extinguisher mounted in here. You've got your power steering and brake fluid, I believe in here, your canisters, and that's your power steering system back there. So probably going to look into putting it somewhere in this section here, and then put a bracket to hold it upright, and then we'll connect the electric and the lines and then go through the dash, and then up here on the windshield itself, right here on both sides of the windshield wiper. On the original Countach, you had one on each side, so we'll put one here and one here as far as the sprayers, get them angled up and set up, and we should be done with that. Headlights have been put in, all rewired up. We're going to go ahead and give them a shot, see how they make sure everything's working good. Just have to do the fog lights next. Let's go ahead and give it a shot. So here's parking lights, everything's working good. Headlights, working good. Let's try the high beams. Here we go. Have your left turn signal, right turn signal. Everything's looking good. Okay, let's head on to the fog lights. Just finished wiring up the fog lights right here. They haven't been put in yet because the turning signals were put in by the previous owner in the wrong spot. They're in the fog light spot, so we need to remove them when we work on the body. We'll move them to the right space, and then we'll move the fog lights into these sections where they belong. But in the meantime, they've been all connected. The wires have been redone. They've been refurbished. Let's go ahead and try them out. Perfect. There's the fog lights. Then we've got the parking lights, headlights, high beams. Everything's working good. Now we can move on to the windshield wiper. Working on the windshield wiper now. We went ahead and connected the switch for it, located all the wires and all the connections. Everything is set up in there. Unfortunately, it's not working. It looks like we may have to replace the motor for the windshield wiper. Went ahead and checked the voltage coming into it. Everything looks fine coming in. So for whatever reason, it's seized up, just making a clicking noise. So we're going to tinker with it a little bit more, see if we can get it loosened up and working. If not, we're just going to have to replace it. Just removed the windshield wiper motor. Here's everything attached to it. Going to go ahead and run a test on it. Make sure it definitely needs to be replaced. If it is the case, go ahead and order another one, throw it in there, and then that should take care of the windshield wiper issue. Well, it looks like we found the problem with the windshield wiper motor. Here's the circuit board that came out of it. As you can see, this thing is badly damaged. Look at that. Badly damaged. Definitely has to be replaced. The actual motor then may be fine. So we'll go ahead and replace this first and see if that helps. But to my knowledge, this is the original windshield wiper motor, over 35 years old. So I guess it's no wonder that it's in this condition. Getting ready to start it up. This car has not been run probably for several years. It was sitting, as mentioned in one of the previous episodes, in someone's yard for a couple years without any gas in the tank and sitting. It does have a new engine in it, however. The former owner did replace the engine because he had damaged the original one. So we know that the fuel pump needs to be replaced, but I'm just going to go ahead and put a little bit of starting fluid in it just to test the engine out, see how it sounds. So let's go ahead and fire it up and see what happens. You can see the dash here is pulled out. I'm starting to put the switches in. That's where I drilled through right there and hit the ribbon cable, unfortunately. But got this pulled out here. You can kind of see back there. Some of the leather has been pulled out. I got to be careful that doesn't get ripped. But see if I can go back here. Kind of see everything that's going on back there. So it will be corrected next time, hopefully, and then we'll be back on schedule with that. Okay, so we're kind of wrapping up the time here on this Countach. Unfortunately, when mounting our last switch on the dash, I drilled through and hit part of the flat ribbon cable that connects the speedometer to the main computer. So had a little bit of a setback with that. I don't know if you can see the dash has partially been pulled out now because I have to get that replaced. Hopefully that part will come in next week. I can get that replaced, and then we can continue on, and we'll be good to go from there. So as always, we thank you for watching. Please send any questions, comments, and we'll see you next time back here in the garage.